Time for an update on the tropics. You know, July was very quiet, August very quiet. Then we got into September, and as we approached the peak of the hurricane season, activity started to pick up a little bit. We had Hurricane Danielle and Hurricane Earl. Now we have our newest system, Tropical Storm Fiona, our sixth named system, and we're going to focus on where that is and where it's headed coming up. You see right now, beautiful system here. It is not the most powerful tropical storm, but it is holding its own, and it's looking pretty good with more convection or storminess closer to the center of the system, and even a little bit of venting in a clockwise direction here with those high, thin cirrus clouds pushing out. So it's certainly holding its own with its intensity and its forecast to actually maintain and then strengthen a little bit over the next 24 to 48 hours. Currently, the maximum winds are at 50 miles an hour, gusts to 65, and it's moving west at 13 miles per hour. It's about 580 miles off to the east of the Leeward Islands. So we're going to see it make this run. This is the Hurricane Center forecast. Again, winds up to 60 miles per hour late tonight and early Friday. As we get into the weekend, it maintains that 60 mile per hour maximum sustained force, and then eventually it may turn back towards the Turks and Caicos with maximum winds starting to pick up a little bit near 65 miles per hour. This is the Hurricane Center forecast. I want to show you what the models look like. So we'll dive in with the spaghetti plots here. And again, there's very good agreement that it's going to head west. So the Leeward Islands getting ready for some sort of impact likely. And then as we head towards Puerto Rico, you see the models still in pretty close agreement, although some do turn it off to the north before reaching Puerto Rico. That would be a favorable situation and development. We'll see. Some of the models carry it a little farther west, and the Canadian model, and this was as of last evening, the latest update from the Canadian model was producing a stronger system back in the Gulf of Mexico. That's the outlier, though. Both the European and the GFS follow more of this track, and I want to take a closer look at those right now. We'll start with the Euro, and here it is, again, bringing the system across the Leeward Islands, just south of Puerto Rico, up through the Dominican, and then bringing it back out around the Turks and Caicos, possibly strengthening it a bit more. I will tell you, beyond this time period, this is Thursday, if we were to continue looking at this model through Friday or Saturday, it eventually brings it to the north and then starts to move it back off to the northeast. So that's one scenario. Here's the GFS, and this is the American model, the global forecast system, brings it across the Leeward Islands. This one turns it a little farther to the north, kind of brings it up in here. There's Bermuda right there. It brings it maybe a little west of Bermuda, and it looks like it's kind of jogging back this way. Here's the mid-Atlantic and the southeast coastline. Eventually, though, it does kick it off to the northeast. So both those models, the Euro and the GFS, do keep it to our east and offshore. The key takeaways, Fiona will maintain strength or get a little bit stronger here within the next 24 to 48 hours. It's really too soon to know how or if it will directly impact the U.S., but likely, again, if the Euro and the GFS models are correct, it'll stay farther out to the east. Again, some of the outliers do bring it towards the U.S. a little farther to the west. But right now, the thinking is it probably stays to our east. Likely we would see increased surf as we go through next week, especially as we look like a week ahead from this weekend. We could see some really rough surf out there and increased threat of rip currents. We'll continue to watch and watch those model trends over the coming days. There's lots of time to watch this, but I really encourage you to check back with 13 News Now. We'll keep you updated.